My toxic in-laws tried to force my wife to leave me because I'm not good enough, and now they're sabotaging our marriage by spreading lies and demanding she choose them over me. Hey everyone, I'm a 28-year-old guy, and I never thought I'd be sharing my story like this, but my life has turned into a full-blown soap opera, thanks to my wife's family. Let me take you back to the beginning. I've been married to my amazing wife, Sarah, who's 27, for 3 years now. We met in college during an intro to psych class. I still remember the first time she smiled at me during a group project. We clicked instantly, bonding over terrible coffee and late-night study sessions. Everything was perfect, until her family decided I wasn't worthy of their precious daughter. Sarah comes from an incredibly close-knit family, the kind that reminds you of an Italian mob movie with fierce loyalty, but none of the charm. Her mom, who I'll call Karen, she's 55 and the name just fits, has been on my case since the very first day. Her dad, 56, mostly just nods along to whatever Karen says, while her two sisters, aged 30 and 25, are like mini versions of Karen, always stirring up drama. I'll never forget the first time I met them at a family dinner, just 6 months into dating Sarah. Karen gave me this cold once-over and said, "So, you're the computer guy? Interesting choice, Sarah. Your ex, Mark, was on his way to becoming a lawyer, you know." I tried to laugh it off, but Sarah squeezed my hand under the table and whispered, "Ignore her." That was just the start. When we were dating, Karen's jabs were subtle but cutting. I'm a software engineer, I make decent money, but apparently, that's not prestigious enough compared to Sarah's ex, some finance bro. She'd say things like, "Oh, honey, are you sure you want to settle for someone who stares at computers all day?" Right to my face, as if I wasn't even there. Sarah would brush it off, saying her mom was just protective, but it wore on me. At a family barbecue once, Lisa, the older sister, pulled me aside and warned, "You know, Sarah's used to better. Don't screw this up." I was stunned, but before I could respond, she just walked away like nothing happened. Things got worse when we got engaged. Karen lost it over our wedding venue because it wasn't the fancy country club her family always uses. "This is an embarrassment. What will people think?" She screamed at Sarah over the phone while I sat right there, hearing every word since Sarah accidentally had it on speaker. "Mom, it's our wedding, not yours," Sarah pushed back, but Karen wasn't having it. "Your grandmother would roll in her grave. And with him? His family doesn't even come from money. My family's middle class, but to her, that's apparently a crime." Sarah caved a bit, and we compromised on a nicer venue, but I could see the toll it took. She lost weight from the stress, and I felt helpless watching her struggle. After the wedding, we moved into a small house we bought together. It's nothing fancy, but it's ours, and I was so proud of the down payment we scraped together from our savings. That's when Karen started showing up unannounced, claiming she was just checking on things. She'd rearrange our kitchen, criticize how I loaded the dishwasher with snarky comments like, "Who taught you to do it like that? It's all wrong." And once even called me lazy for not mowing the lawn on a rainy day. "A real man takes care of his home, rain or shine," she sneered. Sarah's sisters weren't any better. Lisa would text Sarah constantly, saying I didn't treat her right because I sometimes worked late. One message read, "He's neglecting you, sis. Come stay with me if you need to." Mia, the younger sister, accused me of being controlling when I suggested Sarah shouldn't drop everything to babysit their kids every single weekend. "He's isolating you from family," Mia told her during a lunch I wasn't even invited to. Sarah laughed it off when she told me, but I could see it bothered her. Here's the real kicker, though. They despise that I'm not religious like them. Sarah's family is hardcore Catholic, Mass every Sunday, holidays, the whole deal. I'm agnostic, raised loosely Christian but drifted away in college. It's never been an issue for Sarah, she's lapsed herself and only goes to big events to keep the peace. But to Karen, I'm basically the devil. At a family dinner, she asked Sarah, right in front of me, "How can you raise children with a man who doesn't believe in God?" The table went dead silent. I tried to stay calm and said, "Karen, that's between Sarah and me," but she rolled her eyes. "It's between you and God, young man. You're leading her to hell." Sarah changed the subject, but later apologized, saying, "She's just old-fashioned." I bit my tongue, but inside, I was fuming. Things escalated last year when Sarah and I started talking about kids. We're on the same page, wanting to wait a couple of years to focus on our careers. I'm up for a promotion, and Sarah's starting a new job in marketing. But Karen overheard us at a barbecue, even though we were speaking quietly. She flipped out. "You're not getting any younger, Sarah. And with him? God forbid your children grow up without faith." She pulled Sarah aside and whispered something that left her in tears. Later, Sarah told me her mom said I was dragging her down and that she deserved better, someone who could lead a family spiritually. I told Sarah we needed boundaries, like no more unannounced visits, but she begged me not to make her choose. "They're my family," she said, tears streaming down her face. "They just worry about me." I hugged her tight but said, "Worrying is one thing. This is control." I tried to be the bigger person. I invited them over for holidays and even went to church with them once for Easter, just to shut Karen up. I sat through the service, holding Sarah's hand, and Karen seemed pleased at first, saying, "See? He's coming around." But afterward, she cornered me and hissed, "Don't think one mass makes you a believer. Sarah needs more." I forced a smile and walked away, but that was the last time I went. Then, last month, everything hit a boiling point. Sarah had been distant, and I finally found out why. Her family staged an intervention for her without me. They sat her down at Karen's house, Lisa, Mia, Karen, even her dad, and told her I was abusive. Yes, abusive. Their reasoning? I isolated her by suggesting we skip one family event for a vacation, just the two of us. "He's cutting you off from us," Karen told her. Lisa claimed I was manipulative for buying Sarah gifts, calling it love bombing to keep her trapped. Mia said I was financially controlling because I handle our joint budget, something Sarah agreed to since I'm better with numbers. And Karen topped it all off by saying, "If you stay with him, you're choosing sin over your family. We'll always be here, but he won't. Think about your future children, they'll be raised by a heathen." Sarah came home that night sobbing. "They said you're going to hell, and they're worried about my soul," she told me, as if it was the most normal thing in the world. I was livid. "Sarah, this is insane. They're toxic as hell. You need to tell them to back off." But she just shook her head. "I can't cut them out. They're all I have besides you." We argued for hours, me pushing for rules, her saying I was overreacting. For the first time, she suggested we might need space. "Maybe you're right, maybe they are too involved, but you're asking me to choose," she said, her voice breaking. I slept on the couch that night, wondering if my marriage was over because of these people. The next morning, she apologized, but the damage lingered. So, am I the asshole for wanting Sarah to set hard boundaries with her family? Or should I just suck it up and deal with their nonsense forever? I love her, God, I love her so much, but this is tearing me apart. We've been through everything together, from college stress to my job loss 2 years ago when she supported me without a single complaint. I can't lose her to this. Update 1, 2 weeks after original post. Alright, everyone, things have gone from bad to absolute chaos. Thanks for all the advice on my original post. Most of you said I'm not the asshole and suggested getting Sarah into therapy. I took that to heart. After our big argument, I sat Sarah down in our living room, surrounded by the photos from our honeymoon that we hung together. "Babe, your family's crossing lines," I told her. "They're not just opinionated, they're trying to break us up." I showed her some of the comments from Reddit, keeping them anonymous, and read one aloud: "Your in-laws are enmeshed and toxic. Boundaries now or divorce later." She listened, her eyes filling with tears. "I know," she whispered. "But it's so hard." She admitted her mom had been texting her nonstop, saying things like, "Remember how your ex treated you like a queen? This guy's just using you for your stability." Sarah showed me the messages, pages of guilt-tripping garbage about how I'm not man enough because I don't go to church or have a real career in their eyes. One text from Karen read, "He's going to leave you when things get hard, Sarah." "We won't." I held her as she cried. "I don't want to lose you," she said, her voice trembling. We decided to go low contact with them for a while. Sarah sent a group text to her family, "Hey everyone, I love you, but the comments about my marriage need to stop. It's hurting us, and I need space to think." Simple enough, right? Wrong. Karen exploded. She called Sarah immediately, screaming so loud I could hear it from the other room, "How dare you let that atheist control you? We're your blood. After all we've done for you?" Sarah tried to stand her ground, saying, "Mom, this is about respect," but Karen just hung up on her. Then Lisa and Mia jumped in. The very next day, Lisa showed up at our house, banging on the door like a maniac. "Sarah, open up. Mom's having a panic attack because of you," she shouted. I answered, trying to stay calm. "Lisa, you need to leave. This isn't helping," I said firmly. But she shoved past me, her shoulder slamming into mine, and grabbed Sarah's arm as she came into the hallway. "You need to come home now. He's poisoning your mind. Look at you, you're a shell of yourself," Lisa spat, her face red with anger. Sarah pulled away, her voice shaky but resolute. "No, Lisa. This is my home. With my husband." It was incredible to see her stand up like that, but Lisa didn't back down. She started yelling that I was abusive again, claiming I hit her when I pushed her, even though I didn't touch her. She bumped into me on purpose. "See? He's violent. Call the cops on him," she screamed. Neighbors heard the commotion, one even came out with a phone, asking if we needed help. I had to threaten to call the police myself before Lisa finally stormed off, yelling, "You'll regret this, Sarah. We're done with you." Sarah was trembling afterward, collapsing onto the couch. "I can't believe she'd do that," she said, her voice breaking. "She's my big sister. We used to be so close. Remember how she'd braid my hair when we were kids?" I held her tight, but inside, I was raging. We changed the locks that night and ordered a Ring camera for extra security. But it didn't stop there. Karen started posting on Facebook, subtle digs at first, like memes about toxic husbands who isolate their wives and daughters who forget their roots. Then it got personal. She wrote, "Praying for my baby girl who's lost her way with the wrong man. The devil works in mysterious ways," and tagged Sarah in it. Sarah's phone blew up with relatives asking what was wrong. "Aunt Judy texted me, 'Is he hitting you?' 'We can help,' Sarah told me, horrified. She unfriended her mom, but the damage was already done. At work, Sarah's coworker, who's apparently friends with Mia on social media, pulled her aside and asked if everything was okay at home, implying I was cheating. "Mia told me he's been acting weird, distant, like he's hiding something," the coworker said. Turns out Mia's been spreading rumors that I'm having an affair to explain why Sarah's been distant from the family. Sarah came home in tears, saying, "This is humiliating. Everyone thinks our marriage is falling apart." I told Sarah we might need a lawyer for defamation or even a restraining order. She cried, burying her face in my chest. "They're my family. How did it come to this? We used to have Sunday dinners, laugh about old times." But she agreed to couples counseling. Our first session was a revelation. The therapist, a no-nonsense woman in her 50s, called out the enmeshment immediately. "Your family's treating your marriage like a threat to their control," she said. "Sarah, you've been conditioned to prioritize them over your own happiness." Sarah nodded, but I could see the guilt eating at her. "I feel like a bad daughter," she admitted. The therapist replied, "Good daughters don't have to set themselves on fire to keep others warm." Last night, though, Karen escalated things again. She called from a blocked number. Sarah answered, thinking it was work, and said, her voice dripping with venom, "If you don't leave him, we're done with you. No more holidays, no more support. Choose wisely, Sarah. God is watching." Sarah hung up and blocked her, but she's been a mess since, pacing the house and second-guessing everything. I'm trying to be supportive, cooking her favorite meals and reminding her we're a team, but I'm furious. How do I help her see this isn't normal without pushing her away? She's all I have too, and watching her suffer like this is breaking my heart. Update 2, 1 month after Update 1. Holy hell, everyone, I don't even know where to begin. Things have gone from bad to absolute nightmare fuel. After Karen's ultimatum call, Sarah and I tried to hunker down. We attended a few more couples counseling sessions, and Sarah started individual therapy as well. She's been opening up about how her family has always controlled her. Karen would guilt her into dumping boyfriends in high school if they didn't approve, like the time she forced Sarah to break up with a guy just because he was Protestant. Mom said he'd corrupt me, Sarah told her therapist. Her sisters would gang up on her too if she didn't toe the line, like when Mia and Lisa convinced her to drop a college class because it conflicted with family events. "I thought it was love," she told me one night as we lay in bed, tears streaming down her face. "But it's not. It's manipulation. They've always decided what's best for me." We decided to go fully no contact. Sarah wrote a letter, with her therapist's guidance, explaining why, the lies, the interference, the emotional abuse. She detailed specific incidents, like the wedding venue fight and the intervention, and ended with, "I need time to heal. Please respect that and don't contact me until I reach out." She emailed it to her parents and sisters. At first, there was no response, which felt like a relief. We even planned a little getaway to reconnect, just us, no family drama. I booked a cabin in the mountains, and for the first time in months, Sarah seemed excited. "This is what we need," she said, kissing me. "Just you and me." But then, 2 weeks ago, all hell broke loose. I came home from work early, it was a half day, and found our front door slightly ajar. My stomach dropped. Inside, the place was trashed, but not in a robbery kind of way, it was personal. Photos of us from our wedding were torn up, scattered across the floor like confetti. Sarah's clothes were pulled out of drawers, some even ripped, and there was a note on the kitchen table in what looked like Mia's handwriting. "You don't deserve her. Leave or we'll make you." My heart pounded as I called Sarah. She got home, saw the mess, and freaked out. "This has to be them," she said, her voice trembling. We called the cops and filed a report. There were no fingerprints, but the security camera we installed after Lisa's visit caught Mia sneaking in with a key. Sarah had given her one ages ago and forgot to ask for it back. The police went to talk to Mia. She denied everything at first, but when they showed her the footage, she cracked. She admitted Karen put her up to it, saying it was to scare you into realizing you're bad for Sarah. Mia got arrested for breaking and entering. Karen and Lisa denied any involvement, but Sarah's dad finally spoke up to the cops, claiming it was just a family matter and asking them to drop it. Absolute nonsense. Charges are pending against Mia, and we're pursuing a restraining order against the whole lot of them. Sarah's devastated. "My own sister? How could they?" She kept repeating, her voice hollow. But the worst part? During the investigation, the cops found texts on Mia's phone from Karen planning the whole thing. "Make it look like he's dangerous. Sarah will come running back." They were trying to frame me as unstable to get Sarah to leave. Lisa even admitted under questioning that they'd been calling Sarah's workplace anonymously, claiming I was harassing her, trying to get her fired or something. It's beyond insane. Now, family members are blowing up Sarah's phone, aunts, uncles, cousins, all saying we're overreacting and that family forgives. Karen left a voicemail sobbing, "How could you do this to your sister? It's all his fault." Sarah's holding strong, but I can see it's breaking her. "We've upped security, changed our numbers, but I'm paranoid now. What if they don't stop?" Counseling helps, but this is next level toxic. Yesterday, Sarah got an email from her dad, the first time he's reached out directly. He said he's sorry but that I need to man up and apologize for turning Sarah against them. Apologize for what? Existing? Sarah didn't respond, but she's wavering a bit, saying maybe we can talk to them with a mediator. I'm against it. These people broke into our home. Am I wrong to say hell no? Update 3, 3 weeks after Update 2. I'm shaking as I share this, everyone. The drama with my in-laws has escalated to a point I never imagined. After Mia's arrest, things seemed to quiet down for a bit, or so we thought. The restraining order went through for Karen, Lisa, and Mia. They can't come near us or contact us. Sarah's dad wasn't included since he didn't directly do anything, and he's been radio silent. We hoped maybe they'd finally back off. We were wrong. Last week, Sarah started getting weird vibes at work. Her boss pulled her aside and asked if she was okay, mentioning concerns from a family friend about her home life. Turns out, Karen had befriended one of Sarah's colleagues on Facebook, small world, huh? And fed her lies about me being violent. The colleague reported it to HR, thinking she was helping. Sarah explained everything, showed the police reports, and HR dismissed it, but now she's paranoid about her job. Then, the big news, Sarah's pregnant. We found out a few days ago, completely unplanned, but we're excited amidst all this chaos. We haven't told anyone yet, wanting to keep it private until we're ready. But somehow, her family found out. Yesterday, we got a package in the mail with no return address. Inside was a baby onesie with Grandma's little angel embroidered on it, and a card that read, "Congratulations. We can't wait to meet our grandbaby. Family is forever. Love, Mom." How the hell did they know? Sarah's only told me and her therapist. We freaked out and called the cops. It's a violation of the restraining order, but they said without proof it was from Karen. It's hard to pin on her. Sarah thinks maybe her dad snooped or something, but he's not talking. I installed more cameras, and we're considering moving. Sarah's a wreck. They'll never leave us alone. What if they try to take the baby? She keeps saying, her voice full of fear. Last night, things got even weirder. Sarah's phone rang from an unknown number. She answered, and it was Lisa, whispering like she was hiding. "Sarah, please listen. Mom's losing it. She's talking about fighting for custody, saying you're unfit because of him. Dad's trying to stop her, but she's obsessed. Meet me secretly, I have proof." Sarah hung up, but now she's torn. What if it's true? What if Mom's planning something worse? She asked me, her eyes wide with panic. I'm done. I told Sarah we can't trust any of them, but she's scared for the baby. We have a therapy session tomorrow, but I don't know what to do. If Lisa's telling the truth, this could be huge. If not, it's a trap. Why can't they just leave us alone? Update 4, 1 week after Update 3. Okay, this is getting out of hand, and I'm not sure how much more we can take. After Lisa's call, Sarah and I argued hard. She wanted to meet Lisa just to hear her out, but I put my foot down. It's a setup, babe. They're manipulating you, I told her. The therapist agreed, no contact means no contact, especially with a baby on the way. Sarah relented, but she's been distant, checking her phone obsessively like she's waiting for more. Then, 2 days ago, the situation got worse. I got a call from my work, HR, saying there was an anonymous tip that I was unstable and a threat to coworkers. They mentioned something about a history of violence, which is complete nonsense. I had to explain the whole situation with proof from the police reports. They cleared me, but now my boss is giving me side eyes, and I feel like my job's on thin ice. Sarah thinks it's Karen again, retaliating. We reported it to the police, who are investigating, but it's slow. Meanwhile, Sarah's morning sickness is bad, and the stress isn't helping. She's crying all the time, saying, I just want a normal life. Why did they hate you so much? Yesterday, we got another bombshell. Sarah's dad showed up at our door, unannounced, but technically not violating the restraining order since he's not on it. I answered, ready to slam it shut, but he looked wrecked. Please, son, just 5 minutes, he begged. Sarah heard and came out. Against my better judgment, we let him in, with the door open and me recording on my phone just in case. He sat down, tears in his eyes. I'm sorry for everything. Your mother's out of control. After Mia's arrest, she went off the deep end. She's been seeing a lawyer about grandparents' rights for the baby, says you're both unfit because of the family rift I caused by not stopping her, Sarah gasped. How does she even know about the baby? She asked. Her dad sighed. Mia hacked your email or something, found a doctor's appointment confirmation. I'm ashamed, but I couldn't let this go on. He handed over a folder, emails, texts, even recordings of Karen ranting about taking back my daughter and grandbaby. One text to Lisa read, we'll prove he's abusive. Get evidence. Her dad said he's leaving Karen, filing for divorce after 35 years. I enabled her too long. But you need to know, she's not stopping. She's planning to sue for custody the second that baby's born. Sarah broke down, hugging her dad. I was stunned. Is this real, or another trick? He left, promising to testify if needed. Now Sarah wants to lift the restraining order on him, but I'm suspicious. What if he's playing both sides? This morning, Sarah got a text from an unknown number, you can't hide forever. The baby belongs with us. Attached was a photo of our house, from today. Someone's watching us. We're calling the cops again, but I'm terrified. What the hell do we do now?